7:14 on a rainy Friday.
It'll break.
It'll break. It's going to be pretty over the weekend.
Because we're going to need some pictures. We got a ton of listings that came in this week. People
Really?
calling. There were like 88 or 43 properties expired this week, and the phone has just been coming off the wall, and we thank you for that. Linda's been out getting the information together, taking inside pictures, taking some outsides, but if we can get the sun out, she'll probably go back out and take some fresh outside pictures on them, and it'll be green. There's no doubt about that with all with all of this, right?
Yeah, it will.
I want to start by congratulating the Stanley Cup winning
Yay!
Chicago Blackhawks.
That was a great game.
Took the cup in 6.
That was so good.
And it's the most difficult sports championship to win because it is so grueling to get you play all season, and then you have another month and a half, 2 months of playoffs where you're playing every other day. You're traveling. I mean, it's not like the one guy in the basketball, but he was all tired. He had to take him. These guys play 10 times harder than that every day. Mm-hmm. So the boys did good, and the coach and the management and Rocky and my guys that are still up there and stuff. And it made me feel good. It really did.
When I saw him carrying the Stanley Cup through the hallways there, I thought, Bob's been there.
Yeah, Bob has been there. Yes, indeed. It was and watching, and that's when I'm not looking at I'm looking at the guys in the background. Oh yeah, there's so and so, and there's so and so. It is cool. I mean, to be associated with it in any way, shape, or form is an honor. And
to see those aerial shots where it says Union Arena, I thought, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to see the United Center and the great parade yesterday, they had they had like, I know last year they had like the last time they won it was like 2 million people. I'm sure they had that many yesterday, and it was raining, and then it was real hot, and they've had different weather issues up there, and then they couldn't get into Grant Park. They had to use Soldiers Field, which was what they were thinking with that, but
they packed it out though.
Yes, they did. Oh, yes, they did. So I mean, the fans are fans. I mean, Rocky has done a tremendous job at turning the franchise around and the way it's perceived, and getting the games on TV and in those taverns and getting people out and stuff.
Yep.
They've really done a good job. I mean, merchandising's great, and hockey players are just good guys. I mean, they really are. Enough.
It was good. Good for Chicago. You bet. That's great.
And seeing Golden State beat LeBron James also did my heart good too. Basketball's another issue.
Well, I'm checking my team here, seeing if they're in jail yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it'll give the farm teams a whole new place to recruit from. I mean, some of these jail teams, the different leagues that they've got there, they may be able to pick some people up.
Quit picking the keyboards, Cardinals.
They can hack without getting. Maybe that was it. They did a little too much bird feed on the keyboards,
and the Cardinals came out.
Okay.
Get to picking the wrong password.
Man, I've been doing something different this week, and I'll be doing it for a little bit. But in doing and going over things and seeing the importance of how your home is presented to prospective buyers. The pictures, the verbiage, the placement of where things are, where your home is at, is so important to you as a consumer. You need to be your own advocate in a lot of ways before you sign the listing agreement to see what's out there. If you go to retirettoarkansas.net and take a look and see the work that we do, then my honey does. I don't try to gloss that over. And see the work that Century 21 does. In the places that you're at, the quality of the photos is so important to people that come in. We've had people in over the past week from the couple that drove down from Minnesota. We had a couple in from a different state that were down here. And that was what brought them here, was the pictures. They've been on the webpage. They've been following like the lots of links and the different events that are going on here in town throughout the year. And to see the houses and how they're presented is just so important to people because we're a visual society. We're visual people. And if you're sitting in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and you really don't know what's here. You got a guess. You're on different sites and stuff like that, but they said that they kept coming back to ours because of the presentation that was on there. And it's very complimentary, and it makes you feel good that all the hard work that gets done. 10 o'clock on Wednesday night, Linda was still in the office hunting and pecking and knocking stuff off. It's like, honey, you can't just keep doing this. But if you're thinking of listing, if you expired or you're going to expire, please take a look and do a little investigation and see what's going to go on with your listing. The company puts out the magazine 6 times a year. We put out a magazine every other month. There's fresh listings that are coming out for people to find. The boxes are all over the place. And that's a constantly new thing. So if you maybe listed a month ago and you're in somebody else's magazine and that was published in February and the next one is going to be until September or October, well, people that are here visiting, when they take the magazines out of the racks, whether they're at Harps or whatever it may be, to show your house right now is the important part. So you want to really look out for yourself. If the agents come out, if we come out and we talk to you and I don't give you the news that you want to hear on the price, it's not me trying to ruin your day. It's doing these numbers and doing this show every week that allows me to be pretty good. When I tell you it's going to be about this much, it's going to be about that much. And we see that with houses that I'll see that sold 2 years later, 3 years later, for actually less than what we had told them then when we went out on the listing appointment. There, oh no, I can't take that. Okay, then stay. Dale, it's Mountain Home. It's not Detroit. Yeah. It's Mountain Home. There's a lot worse places to be. So help yourself and let us help you, and we'll get you on with the next phase of your life. You can't make more time. If whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's be with the grandkids or you have health issues or a divorce or whatever your situation is, and you need to move on with your life, and you're like, okay, I love Mountain Home, but I can't stay because I need to do this, whatever this may be, let us help you and move on with it. And it's not, do yourself that favor for yourself. That's the big thing. You saw the Brim brothers here, right?
Their hats match.
That's kind of scary, actually.
What you were saying, I lost my train of thought here. Yeah, go ahead. I'll think of it. Got off one of the cowboy hats in here.
I know. I couldn't help it. I was just kind of blinded there. This week, there were 54 new listings came on, 20 parcels of land, 2 commercial properties. 31 homes came on the market at a range of $55,000 to $749,000. Average price coming on the market this week was $174,000. There were 23 sales. There'll be another one today. 3 parcels of land, a commercial property, 19 homes sold, and they sold at a range of $12,000 to $725,000. The average sale price this week was $123,000. The average listed price when those homes came on the market was $132,000. There were $2.3 million in closed sales this week. We're down a little bit from last week, but still, $2.3 million in residential sales
this week.
Yeah, not bad. 52 pendings. 43 properties expired. 88 properties had price changes, and that's the reality of when we come out and we tell you this is where you need to be, and you go, oh no, and you say, I'm going to have Joe Blow come out and they're going to list it for what I want it for. Well, but that's not going to get you sold. You can list it for $3.6 million. That's not what you're going to get.
But you're going to weed eat around the for sale sign for 6 months to a year or 3 years.
Or 3 years. And that's really the situation. If you don't want to sell, then don't be on the market.
That's why we call you the real estate professional, because you know your market.
Yeah.
You know your banks. You know your people.
Yep. And the banks are, let me run through these and I'll tell you a quick bank story. There's 1,025 homes on the MLS. So there's more than enough competition out there no matter what price point you're at. 2014, there were 306 year to date. There were 361 sales for $41.5 million. This year to date, there's 383 sales for $46.8 million. So the market is trending up. It's not rocketing up. but
Which
it
is
is
good.
trending up, and that's what we want. We want it to just kind of be steady. That'd be a great thing. And to go back to the banks, local banks, and just there's an unknown factor. You know, we get a house and we get it under. We find a buyer, a willing buyer, a willing seller. They come to an agreed upon price that we help them come to by showing both sides where realistically they should be, and it goes to the bank, and the bank, you know, most people are looking for a loan of some sort. They go to the bank, and then the house has got to be appraised. So what I say, doing from this every week, it may not even be what the bank says, because the appraisers come in and they come up with different numbers. Or people have personal tragedies that occur to them during the course of the negotiation, waiting for the property to close. We've had people going out and bought cars when while this process is still going on. Well, all of a sudden their credit goes from here to here, and their debt to income ratio goes from here to there. And now the bank says, you can't afford this mortgage. And the whole thing goes poof. Well, the seller, they're half packed up, ready to go, and they're moving back to Cleveland to see the grandkids, and all of a sudden the buyer that they had, they don't have. Or there may be a death in the family or an illness that may come up. And these unforeseen things happen. God knows why they happen. We certainly don't, and we're, you know, you got to kind of live with the belief that it happens for a reason, and there's a reason why either you're not going to be able to go to Cleveland, or the deal blew up for whatever reason it may be. But these are all part of the things that can happen. It happens through all of life, but it seems that real estate, because of the emotional toll that it can take on people, it's
it can be a strain and a burden.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's a very emotional thing. So, and that's what we do. We will get you through those rough waters, and you know, come out the other side, and we'll try to make it better as best we can, as easily as we can. So just kind of things to keep in mind of what we do as professional realtors. And we've been to numerous classes above and beyond what's required by the state board of continuing it every year. We got another class coming up in July we're going to go down and take for negotiations. And Linda and I do that type of stuff to help better our craft, our trade craft, and the ability to help people and get them where they want to be.
Oh boy, the real estate market.
Well, it's a
true real estate professional. You know, I want to comment. You know, you don't win the awards by being part-time.
No,
and you're not just, oh well, you know, we might be able to catch up with you next Wednesday. You and Linda, I mean, you gain the trust of your client up front.
And that's what you need to do, and because it's a business, and there's a personal story behind every one of these sales that occurs, and all the sales that occur, and to be able to help people to cross that finish line, that's a success. You know, we're personally successful, but the success is being across the table from people with that smile on their face, and they've either just bought a house, just sold a house, whatever the situation may be. That's the payoff. I mean, that really is.
You know, we're down to the last minute for theme song starts, but real quick, how much value in a person's mind is the sentimental value of the home they've been in for 40 years?
Well, and that's always the issue, Dale. I mean, it's making that jump from their home to their house. And that's really the most important part of the deal, when you can get them to cross that line, to realize that they're going to take those memories with them. Nobody can take those away from you. And you don't have to be in this particular address to have those memories.
Good point.
They go with you when you go, and it's time for a new address because you don't want to keep everything up, or you want to change whatever your situation may be. Just make that jump. Think about it and say, you know, yeah, I remember Grandma sitting there, but she's still going to be, life goes on. That's right. And you're still going to remember her sitting there.
Yep.
You're just going to be in a different location.
That's it. Phone number and locations.
Phone number is 870-405-0793. Give my honey a call. She keeps the book. We're not in the office. It's been a kind of a hectic week, and it looks like it's going to continue that way. So we're getting people booked so that we make sure that we're where we're supposed to be, and that's why she keeps the book, because I'll tell them, oh yeah, we can be there Wednesday. And I've done it, believe me, brother. I've done it, and Linda goes, oh, you goofy. So,
Bob and Linda Zdora, the Z Team, Century 21 LeMac Real Estate for all your real estate needs. Time for the news. We'll be right back.